There's coop 2. And spent more of the day applying and removing wax. Back bumper is fighting me. It might need another application or it might not be coming up well. We will see. Getting ready to... So here's the L up. We ran out of battery again, so have to pick up where I left off. I was talking about the quick jacks, and this right here is your safety catch mechanism. This little thing right here is just for going down. So here's your driver's side. One thing about using quick jacks, don't be at all surprised if you find your door gaps increase quite a bit and that your doors don't close like they did when it was on the ground. That's just your unibody flex. Something I wanted to show you on this wheel. You don't find this very often. The little catches that go on to hold the brake drum. They're almost always gone. And I see this car has the brake springs. So I will pull her apart and see what we've got for brakes. We have all the drums off. The shoes in great shape. Wheel cylinders didn't get that much use. They were probably replaced 10 or 15 years ago, and then the car was stored. They will get replaced again. I didn't find any issues with the front, and all the wheels have anti-howl springs. All the drums. There, anti-howl. This one looks like it might have gotten a little sticky, but it's all going to get cleaned up. And that completes it for today. So what are you doing today, Bob? Brakes. Brakes and tie rods on the L. Note to self. So we got a new tie rod end here. New wheel cylinder, hose. We are installing a new master, and then we will give the brake lines a flush. This brake line will not break loose. I've had the wire brushes and the coil and the line wrenches on it, and all she's doing is this. It's the original 1965 line. So we'll replace it because it's going to break. Then check the differential. The fluid is good. You probably can't tell, but there's a new hose, brake hose. And golly, that brake hose clip was really tough to reinstall. Because things are in the way, hard to get to. Either that or I'm getting old. No, it's just plain hard to install. We're getting ready to bench bleed the new master. That's how I do it. And where is it? There it is. .5 silicone fluid. How's your Sunday going, Bob? Well, this was the passenger side rear brake on the L, and the steel line there was just twisting. But I managed to get the wheel cylinder off without breaking the line, but I think the line is damaged. Yeah, it could be reused, but let's just see if I don't have another line that will fit. And we found the adjuster was pretty stuck, but surprisingly, wheel cylinder stuck. The shoes don't reflect being stuck, but then again, we didn't put many miles on it. So, I will see what I can do. I brought over my box of bearings and seals because I would like to replace the front wheel bearings. I don't remember where I was when the battery quit, but we have the wheel cylinder off. I think I was showing you it was stuck, and I wasn't happy with the rear brake line because it was wanting to twist. Yeah, if you look, you can see the end of this line right in here, kind of punky, and you can see there's a twist to it. So even though it hasn't fractured, who'd want to trust it? So, got to remove the line, which means you go over to the junction block that's on top of the axle. And you think this thing would let loose? You can tell. You know, it was about 40 minutes with eventually I had to put vice grips on it, and then I could break it loose. What an argument. Oh, good. I've made a mess on the floor with brake fluid. So here's my replacement line, which might need just a little bit of tweaking, but I believe we can make that fit. Back to work. So here we are. This is that Y block that I had all the trouble with getting that line off of it. I even loosened So I had room and I couldn't get that line off. Well, eventually I did get that line off. Of course, before I did that, I used the wire brushes and got everything clean. So my installation of the new line ought to be pretty good. And that is the parking brake cable. And I've removed one of the attaching points because that cable is frozen. So one step at a time. And yes, this would be easier if I had a lift. And I'm pleased to say that that line, the replacement line, looks like that's going to fit just fine. This is, I think that's actually a 1960 that I had kicking around. So 60 through 65. Hey, that's pretty good interchange. Let's keep going. Here's the old rear wheel cylinder. Those are 1/2 inch. Here's the new one. Those bolts are 7/16. I found that also on the 66 I was doing a while ago. Fortunately, the new wheel cylinders from Rock Auto come with their own bolts, so you don't have to go scrambling around. If this is what came off and this is what goes on, at least you've got the bolts to mount it. And I will give the adjuster and the pins here a quick wire brush and get her buttoned up. So there you go, there's the new wheel cylinder installed. And you can see the new line. And you can see the parking brake cable's been removed. Yesterday it was stuck. And there is the parking brake cable. And today it's not stuck. Well, you've gotten this far. Certainly a new one will be better, even if I lubricate the heck out of this. So I'll get a new one, and I might as well, this one being a passenger is a tougher one to install because it's longer. I might as well get one and install the passenger side too. So I was working on the front wheel bearings, and I went to my stock and I got the new ones, and made in China. I just couldn't bring myself to use them. These are Timkins, made in the USA. That's what was in there. And I cleaned them up, and they look good, so I'm going to stick with the USA. And we got some new front wheel seals that we'll put in too.